All right, guys, I'm already tired. Freaking phone dropped on the floor. I'm about to go to sleep, but what time is it? It's only 10 o'clock. I need to at least get one more hour in. I'm tired. I don't know why. Yeah, I drunk that. Yeah, but let me try to explain this. Okay, so this is where we're at. Hope you guys are following, right? Just don't. So we're on Angular. We're doing the tutorial, and this is what we got so far in this tutorial. So we got homes, and now we got this little data that showed up that looked like this, right? And so what we did, guys, now remember, everything is a component. So I think this is a component. Just think of a Lego. When I say component, think of a Lego. So this is a component, this is a component, and this is a component. This is what's our focus of interest, this right here, okay? So what we did was we defined a component called location information. And remember, location information, the template is going to describe what the component's going to look like. So we have our template. In our template, we have an image, and we have text in bold. Basically, the name of the listing and the city and the state right there. So that's what's going to be displayed. And what they're saying, guys, is basically what we have is if you have a variable, what they're saying, if you have a variable here that has data in it, then you can use that variable data in your template. And that's what we're doing here. So we have house and location, and we see we have name, city, and state. Well, before we did that, we defined house and location as an interface. The interface is nothing but a data object to store data. So we defined our interface right there. So interface is nothing but our interface is nothing but a class to store data, like a data object, right? So that's where our data is coming from. But if we go back to our housing location, what we see here, guys, is we have input required. So I guess this is going to require to have a value. So this right here is basically being set by housing location information. So something right here is being set, input housing location, right? And again, our housing location is here, housing location, here. Okay, housing location here. Our input require housing location. But let's look at the selector. I think that's where, see this app housing location selector, right? So let's go to the parent. So you remember components are put inside other components. So our parent component is this one right here, right? And you see our parent component. Again, we have the interface, our data type right there. We define a data type right there. So we actually define data for this data type, and we named it this one right here. But look inside here, that's pretty interesting. It's right here, that's where it's happening. You see inside there, I think it's called property something. You see housing location, we have the app housing location, and then we defined housing location in brackets equal to housing location. Housing location brackets equal to housing location. Look at this. This housing location, guys, is what we define here. So basically what we were able to do is, I think that's called property binding. So we had data here, and we wanted to send it to a child component. So we have the data here, guys. And inside here, our app housing location, we use property binding there. So look at that, housing location. We did that. here. Just by using these brackets in this selector, if we went to where our child, so our child's here, this is where our child's going to be, right? This is our selector for our child, and we did some property binding. If we go to our child, you can see this is where the child is going to appear at, right? But we did a property binding, which was there. We did a property binding, which was, we did a property binding, which was here. You see that? We did a property binding, which was here, guys. You remember, this is our data, property binding here. So this data binds to this property here for this tag here, but that's our child tag. So this is our child tag here, right? And if we scroll down to here, we have input required housing location, and we have housing location. So what I'm not sure is the house, I'm not sure if, I'm assuming the input required from housing location when this was, my son, I gotta tell my time, Tyler, be quiet! So what we have housing location here required. So this housing location information, this is our interface, right? Our interface is here. So I think by the fact that we have input required for this interface here, that's how we got our data here, right? And because, our templates here, now we're able to take the data from here, and then using these double brackets, we're able to pull the data from there and display. So that gives us a situation where we have a parent component, right? If you have a parent component, and you have data here, right? One way to get that to a child component, right, is through property binding. So you can take your variable here, guys, look for your child selector that you want to send the data to. You can use property binding here, and then your child will receive that data, and then your child will receive that data here, right? Using this input require the interface, it automatically populate here. And once you have the data there, guys, you can use the double brackets in your template to display the data. I think that's how that works. And voila, this is what we got so far, guys.